Hello, wonderful people. Justin here with another demo of demo things. Hey, are you running a website that has share buttons on it and it's not mobile? Because if it's mobile, maybe you're probably already using the web share API, so you can just share things to things. Hey, you're not? Okay, well then do I have the thing for you? So, as a user of Mastodon, I really like Mastodon. I run my own instance of it. My kids hang out there privately. You know, we do random stuff. And, but sharing stuff from a site to it, when you're on the desktop is hard. From a website perspective, you'd have to know their instance, and you don't know their instance because there are many of them. Lots and lots of instances out there. You know, decentralized nature of Mastodon and the way it works. And so to help alleviate said problem for my own particular uses on my website, I decided to come up with a little web component that sort of does this for you. So here we're on the demo page. In this case, you can see that share-to-mastodon is a little custom element web component right here. In this case, the basic usage is you feed it a string in the slot, in the default slot, and magically it will give you said thing. And like most things under the hood when it comes to web components, we can do whatever we want, because if I slide in an SVG, some divs, and some other text, I can make it look like whatever button I want. And fundamentally under the hood, it's still going to handle my eventing and things. Because in this case, we're an inline anchor for the most part. That's kind of how this works. But Justin, how exactly does this work if you click that? Because you're probably thinking, well, you still don't know the instance. And what this web component does is this, it does a little morphing. So if we click it, it'll pop open this little modal with a back. And if we click the backdrop, it goes away. You'll note the button is back here. So if you look real close, you'll note the button disappears. And that's because the web component is turned into this big modal so that we can keep it sort of contained, and you don't have to kind of worry about, you know, where you would put this or like how it's going to interact with other stuff on your page. So in our case, it'll take a URL. If we click this, we'll also note it has a drop-down selection. Ooh, fancy, Justin. That must be complicated. Indeed, it is not. That's a data list, and this is just a input type URL. So you can feed it options that you might want that'll properly match the pattern. Similarly speaking, it's got standard validation because this is actually a form. So we don't have to write and use like 35K worth of package weight just to make a form work. That's kind of silly, doesn't it? Same thing with that. It's got a pattern match because the platform gives us that. So we don't have to deal with a lot of the sort of headaches that, you know, would come around with forms and whatnot. In my case, it's got these four as the defaults. You can actually set the default to your heart's content for this component because I made it configurable. In my case, I've got my little private instance here hanging out. And if I click share, it will send me to said private instance. And magically, I end up at my share page because I'm logged in as me. Which, you know, hey, if you want, you can come follow me on Mastodon, justin@ribeiro.social. Who doesn't love a good plug for a server that probably no one knows exists? So you get the little share target, button comes back, yay for us. And it's really quite simple under the hood. It's about 1.5 K of code. It's based on top of Lit. The code is on GitHub, so if you want to play with it. You can install it off NPM because I did throw it on NPM under my namespace. So if you want to install it and use it, you can also use it with JS Deliver. I made a little built pack with Lit as part of it. That's about 7.5 gzipped straight for those of you concerned about your performance, which you should be. Underneath the hood, there are lots and lots of props. So if there's a string in here, you can set it. So you can make it locale specific. And similarly speaking, there's lots of custom props if you want to change the way the modal looks or the backdrop or other assorted things within the scope of it. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, of course I have it running on my website right now. So if you go to my website on your desktop and you don't have the share target API installed, you can click it and magically it'll come through here, and you can see I've already tested this on this site. And in my case, I'm setting a custom message string and my permalink comes through. So you get all that without having to, you know, make it a massive pain for your end user. And again, like if you're on mobile, this is probably less of a problem. If you have the Mastodon PWA, it has web share API target support, so you can use it and throw things to it without any particular problem. But if you're on desktop and you're looking for a way to give your users some way to share to Mastodon, this little web component might be able to help you. So give it a look. Links and things in description below. I hope you've enjoyed watching. This is Justin signing off.